If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, joining me right now, back in action this Saturday night as she defends the Bellator women's flyweight title against Veta Arteaga. The co-main event of the evening, Bellator 220, live from the SAP Center in San Jose, California. Ilima Lei Macfarlane is here, the champ. Ilima, how are you?
Hi, Mike. I'm fine. How are you?
Thank you so much for the time so close to the fight, Ilima. I really appreciate it. So we're about 72 hours away from this next scheduled title defense. How are you feeling in the middle of fight week as this fight gets closer and closer?
Good. So there's a camera here in my room. I have an ice pack on my head, and I'm cutting weight. So everything's going real good. Feeling great.
So a little bit of everything going on, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you've been on this tear your entire career, but these last 4 fights have been extremely impressive. 4 submission wins in a row. Some early, some late, some smack dab right in the middle of the fight, but all equally impressive. And this sport is all about growth. It's all about evolution. And fighters always say that they get better every single fight. Is that something that you're feeling right now? Even though it's kind of a cliche thing for fighters to say, you must be feeling at this point like you continue to get better and better with each fight, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of that is because, I came in as a blank slate to the sport. I had a wrestling background, but besides that, I never fought before. I never even threw a punch. So I've been a sponge from the beginning, just absorbing everything that my coaches have been teaching me. So I absolutely feel like I'm green enough in the sport where I'm continuing to evolve at a pretty rapid pace.
You get Veta Arteaga on Saturday night. Veta has been on a little bit of a roll, 5-2 as a pro. She's won her last couple of fights. And it's interesting because every time I've talked to you heading into a fight, you said that you knew that whoever you were fighting at that time, you knew that you'd be getting the call from Bellator to fight that person. It's almost like you were mentally prepared for it. With the run you've been on, you've beaten a lot of contenders in this division. Did you feel like Veta would be your next opponent, or are you just kind of wondering what might actually be there for you?
Yeah, I did think she was going to be next. It was actually between her and Juliana Velasquez in my mind because, Vita's been on a rip right now. She's been stepping up and beating people who were title contenders or kickboxing champions. So I had a feeling it would be her or Juliana Velasquez, who is an undefeated fighter in the division as well. So I had a feeling that it was going to happen, and, she called me out on the mic after her last fight. So, she was on my radar.
What are your thoughts on Veta as an opponent? Obviously, she's very tough. She's been on a nice little run, and you as the champion, and even more so now because you've become one of the faces of Bellator, the target on your back is getting a little bit bigger and bigger as each of these fights happen. How do you like this matchup stylistically?
I'm really excited about this matchup because I think Veta is a really, really exciting fighter. She brings it every time, and I'm thinking it's going to be a barn burner brawl because she does not care about getting hit in the face. She'll just keep pushing forward, and every single one of her fights has been exciting. So I'm really excited about this matchup, and I'm ready to just get in there and have fun. Normally I'm really nervous before my fights, and of course I still have those 3 fight jitters, but I'm more excited more than anything.
I saw your interview with the great James Lynch, good friend of mine, and it was mentioned that you had met the great boxer Canelo Alvarez. So for those of you who may have missed that interview with the great James Lynch, and you probably should go back and see that because James is one of the best of the business, how did that all come together, and what did you take away from that meeting with Canelo?
So it's the guys from DAZN, that's where Canelo's fights are all on, the DAZN website, and that's where my fights are on. So the guys from DAZN, they were actually shooting me earlier that day. It was the day before my birthday, and so they came down to San Diego to, just shoot me training, and they told me, hey, we have something for you in the afternoon, so keep that part of your day open. So I really thought that they were going to, take me out to a birthday dinner or something. And they ended up taking me to Canelo's gym, and I had no idea he even trained in San Diego. So that was really cool. And, we got to pick each other's brains a little bit about, he asked me how much do you run, and I'm like, I don't really run that much. And so it was really funny because, boxers run a lot. But I showed him some swimming footage, and we just asked questions like how much weight do you have, how many hours a day do you train. So it was really cool. His team was awesome, and I'm actually, it's funny, after that I decided to enroll in Spanish classes this summer because I'm like, I have learned Spanish so I can communicate with Canelo Alvarez better next time.
This is an interesting time in the sport because as a fighter, and I know we kind of talked about this and glanced past this a little bit earlier about how important evolving in this game can actually be. Finding new, unique, and different ways to mix up training and training styles. What are some of the things that you've been able to do to stay ever evolving in and outside of the gym when it comes to mixed martial arts?
So one thing that my followers on social media have been seeing a lot of lately is my underwater training. So yeah, I used to swim laps during my camps, because it's a low impact exercise that's really good for your body and your cardio. But I recently started training with these water survivalist specialists from the Marines. They were special ops, and they created this deep end fitness program and this new underwater torpedo league sport that is just incredible. So it's actually a lot of military style training that I started to implement into my camp, starting with Bellator Hawaii, and I was immediately hooked. So I've been doing that consistently. I actually just got certified as a water instructor for them, so that has probably been the newest thing that has helped me to evolve and has kept training really fun and innovative. Because you're right, we always try to keep evolving. We always try to keep training fun and new, and so Underwater Torpedo League has definitely helped with that. And then specifically for this camp, I've been actually working a lot of Muay Thai. You don't really see me throwing a lot of kicks in any of my fights, so that was something that I really wanted to develop, especially because Veta is really heavy on her front foot. She has a boxer style wide stance, so we've been working a lot on chopping down that lead leg.
I'm not going to ask for a prediction because you're obviously not going to say Vita's going to beat you and take your title, and certainly you're not looking past her. But if all goes well on Saturday night, is there a part of you that's thinking, and I know you mentioned another possible opponent, but is there a part of you that's thinking, now what? You know what I mean? You've beaten a lot of the top contenders already, and I know you're down to scrap with whoever is presented to you, but is that something you think about? What's the next challenge for me?
Not really, because I think that there's a lot of dark horses in the division as well. Like I said, Juliana Velasquez is up there. Even Christina Warhorse Middleton is up there. We've been signing new girls. And, in the sport of MMA, anything can happen. So it doesn't matter if you're fighting a 5-5 girl, anything can happen in a fight. So I don't look past any of my opponents. I'll fight whoever they put in front of me. This is my job. This is my career. I don't have anything to prove. I'm just focused on being as financially successful as possible in this sport.
Really looking forward to your fight. I'm sure I'm not alone on that. Seeing you get back in the cage on Saturday night in San Jose, defending your title against Veta Arteaga. But we talk about evolution. Maybe there's a chance to see Ilima Lei Macfarlane in the broadcast booth. How about that? A la Chael Sonnen and Josh Thompson in the future. So let's put your analyst hat on for a moment. Following your fight, Rory MacDonald will defend the Bellator welterweight title against Jon Fitch, part of the Bellator Grand Prix. Rory is coming off a loss. He had a tough go of it in his last fight, moving up to middleweight. Got beat up pretty badly by Gegard Mousasi. Of course, Jon Fitch, the wily veteran, been in this game for a while. He's on a little bit of a run himself. How do you see that fight playing out? It's really interesting.
Man, I think Rory's going to be prepared for Jon Fitch's style. Jon will do anything for the win, even if he has to just grind you out slowly. But I think Rory's going to be prepared for that. So I think Rory's going to pick him apart and pick his shots well. But, who knows? The veteran Jon Fitch, he's a grinder. So if he can get he can get Rory in the clinch and get his arms around him and take to the ground, I think he's just going to grind Rory out.
You see? There might be a future for Ilima Lei Macfarlane in the Bellator broadcast booth. The Iliminator, Ilima Lei Macfarlane, back in the cage this Saturday, co-main event of Bellator 220. She defends the Bellator women's flyweight title against Veta Arteaga, live from the SAP Center in San Jose, and you can stream all the action on DAZN. Thanks, Ilima Lei, for the time so close to the fight. All the best to you on Saturday night. Really appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks, Mike.